Listen, I need you to hear me, really hear me. This isn't about cheap tricks, manipulations, or playing games. It's about understanding the unspoken truths of human connection. You see, most men out here, probably including you, are frustrated. You're tired of feeling invisible to women, tired of the awkward silences, tired of wondering why she smiles at everyone but never at you. And deep down, it's breaking you. But here's the thing, intimacy isn't built on chasing or impressing. It's built on understanding, emotional intelligence, connection. And yes, there are 3 incredibly simple but powerful places on a woman's body that, when touched correctly, with respect and intention, can ignite a level of arousal that goes beyond the physical. Before you get excited or nervous, let me be clear, this isn't about being a manipulative player. This is about becoming the man who can make a woman feel safe, seen, and desired. It's about the energy you bring, the intention behind your touch, and the ability to read her emotional cues. By the time you finish watching this video, you're going to see intimacy differently. You're going to understand women in ways most men never do. And more importantly, you're going to realize that sexual attraction is deeply emotional before it's ever physical. Before you ever think about touch, before you think about attraction, before you even say a word, there's one thing you need to master: presence. And I don't mean just standing in the same room with her. I mean being fully there, mind, body, and energy. Most men think attraction is about what they say, what they wear, or how much money they make. That's a surface level illusion. True connection, the kind that makes a woman feel alive, safe, and curious about you, starts with presence. Being present means you're not distracted by your phone, by your insecurities, or by what you think she wants. It means you are genuinely listening, genuinely observing, genuinely feeling the energy in the room. When you can show up in that way, something shifts. Women feel it immediately. It's magnetic. They don't even have to think about it. They just sense it. You become a calm, grounding force in a chaotic world. Here's the hard truth: most men are invisible because they operate from neediness, not presence. They are thinking about themselves, about impressing her, about the next move. But presence is the opposite. Presence is self-assured. It's grounded. It's the quiet confidence that says, I'm comfortable in my skin and I see you. And when a woman feels seen, really seen, her walls start to drop. That's when emotional connection begins. And emotional connection is what leads to desire. So how do you practice this? Start small. Make eye contact without forcing it. Listen to her words and the emotions behind them. Mirror her energy subtly, without copying her. Let your body language be relaxed, confident, and unhurried. Presence is not about rushing to her. It's about letting her feel your energy and choosing to stay grounded in that moment. When you master presence, you create an invisible pull. You don't have to convince her. You don't have to chase. She feels your calm confidence, and that alone makes you irresistible. Presence is the foundation. Without it, no touch, no technique, no trick will ever have the impact you want. Start here, and the rest will naturally follow. If chapter 1 was about presence, chapter 2 is about perception. Because here's the truth: women are constantly communicating, but most men don't know how to listen. They hear words, but they miss the emotions behind them. They see actions, but they don't read the signals. And yet, attraction, connection, and intimacy are built on emotional language. Not just what is said, but how it is expressed. Emotional language is subtle. It's in the way she tilts her head when she talks to you. It's in the sparkle of her eyes when she laughs, or the pause in her words when she's unsure. It's in the tiny gestures, touching her hair, leaning slightly closer, mirroring your posture. These are not random. They are signals. They are her body telling you what words cannot fully capture. And if you can recognize them, respond with intention, and respect her boundaries, you begin to build a connection that feels rare, powerful, and magnetic. Most men fail here because they are focused on output. They want results. They want a kiss, a date, a night together. But emotional intelligence is not about output. It's about input. It's about absorbing the subtleties of her mood, her energy, and her comfort level. When you notice these signals and respond appropriately, you communicate something that words cannot. I see you. I feel you. You are understood. And that understanding is incredibly attractive. So how do you develop this skill? Start by observing. Notice the small details, how she laughs, how she moves, how her tone shifts. Practice empathy. Ask yourself, how does she feel right now? Rather than, what does she want from me? And most importantly, respond with authenticity. Don't fake interest. Don't perform. Real emotional intelligence comes from genuinely caring about her experience in that moment. Here's the takeaway: attraction is emotional first, physical second. Women are wired to respond to men who understand them, who read the unspoken messages, and who make them feel seen. If you master this language, you don't have to chase. She will be drawn to your energy because it matches hers. You become not just present, but attuned. And that attunement is the bridge from curiosity to desire. Now that you understand presence and emotional language, it's time to talk about the first spot, the neck and ears. And before you jump to conclusions, let me be very clear, this isn't about manipulation or pressure. This is about understanding sensitivity and connection. The neck and ears are incredibly intimate areas. They are soft, exposed, and instinctively sensitive to touch. When you approach these spots with respect, intention, and awareness, you create a level of closeness that most men never experience. Why the neck and ears? These areas are packed with nerve endings. A gentle touch, a soft brush of your fingers, even a whisper near the ear can trigger a deep emotional and physical response. But here's the key. It's not just the physical sensation. It's the energy behind your touch. Women respond to confidence, care, and attunement. When your presence is grounded and your intention is clear, this touch communicates desire, safety, and connection all at once. But most men fail here. They rush. They overdo it. They try to provoke a reaction without first building emotional resonance. And when that happens, instead of attraction, they create discomfort. You must understand that the neck and ears are gateways. They are sensitive because they are intimate, not because they are tricks to seduce. Approach them only after she feels safe, seen, and emotionally connected to you. How do you do this in practice? Start with subtlety. A light brush of your fingers on her neck while laughing, a soft whisper close to her ear, a gentle touch of her earlobe in playful or affectionate moments. Watch her reactions. Is she leaning in, smiling, relaxing? These cues tell you if she's receptive. Presence, timing, and sensitivity are everything here. Here's the emotional truth. When you connect to her through this intimate area with respect, you don't just stimulate desire, you create trust. She begins to associate you with pleasure that feels safe, intentional, and genuine. This is the foundation for the deeper connection and arousal that the following techniques will amplify. Remember, it's not about getting a reaction. It's about becoming a man who can make a woman feel seen, valued, and safe while awakening desire naturally. The neck and ears are your first step into this world of emotional and physical connection, and when done correctly, they open the door to a level of intimacy most men never even understand. By now, you understand presence and emotional language, and you've learned the intimacy of the neck and ears. Now let's move to the second spot, the inner wrists and hands. It may surprise you, but these areas are more powerful than most men realize. They are vulnerable, soft, and highly sensitive to touch. And when approached with respect, they create a bond that goes beyond the physical. A bond that communicates trust, attention, and genuine connection. The inner wrists are loaded with nerve endings, making them extremely receptive to touch. A light, intentional brush of your fingers across her wrists, a gentle hold of her hands, or even the subtle act of intertwining your fingers with hers can trigger a flood of emotional and physical sensations. But here's the secret. It's not just about arousal. It's about connection. These moments of contact are subtle yet profound. They signal attentiveness and care, the kind that makes a woman feel truly seen and appreciated. Most men completely miss this because they focus only on the obvious attraction points. They rush toward what's immediately sexual and ignore the beauty of slower, meaningful touch. But emotional intimacy is what sets you apart. By connecting through her hands and wrists, you activate oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which naturally increases trust and closeness. She begins to feel a safe desire, a magnetic pull toward you that is impossible to fake. How do you approach this correctly? Timing is everything. Begin with small, casual touches, a playful hand tap, guiding her hand gently while walking, or holding her hand during conversation. Observe her responses. Does she linger, smile, or subtly lean in? If so, she is receptive and your connection deepens. The key is subtlety and intention. Never force contact or make it feel transactional. Here's the emotional truth: hands communicate more than words. By connecting through her wrists and hands, you show patience, attentiveness, and respect. You're not just touching, you're communicating presence, understanding, and desire, all in one simple, powerful gesture. And when she feels that authenticity, attraction follows naturally, building a foundation for deeper intimacy. Remember, this isn't a trick or a shortcut. It's about becoming the man who awakens desire while making her feel safe, valued, and emotionally connected. Master this, and you move one step closer to being unforgettable. By now, you've mastered presence, emotional language, and the sensitivity of the neck, ears, wrists, and hands. But the journey doesn't stop there. The third spot, the lower back and spine line, is where emotional and physical connection converge at a deeper, more primal level. This area is intimate, often overlooked, and incredibly responsive when approached with respect and awareness. The lower back and spine line are highly sensitive because they are near the core of the body, the center of balance, and in many ways, vulnerability. A gentle touch here communicates trust, care, and attraction all at once. When you connect to this area, you are not just stimulating physical sensation. You are signaling that you recognize her vulnerability and that she can trust you in a way few men inspire. Most men fail at this spot because they approach it mechanically, aggressively, or without reading her signals. They see it as a shortcut to arousal rather than an opportunity to deepen emotional connection. But here's the reality: women respond to energy, intention, and timing. When your touch is intentional, subtle, and respectful, it creates a magnetic pull that goes beyond the physical. She feels seen, understood, and emotionally engaged, an experience that amplifies desire naturally. So how do you approach this correctly? Begin with context and awareness. While standing or walking close, a light, casual brush of your hand across the small of her back can feel natural and comforting. Pay attention to her reactions. Does she relax into the touch, shift slightly closer, or smile subtly? These cues tell you she's receptive. Never force contact or make it feel transactional. The power of this spot lies in its subtlety and timing. Here's the emotional truth: the lower back and spine line are more than physical zones. They are gateways to trust and emotional intimacy. When you approach this area with presence, intention, and sensitivity, you awaken desire in a way that feels safe, natural, and deeply connective. This is not manipulation. It's mastery of emotional and physical resonance. Remember, intimacy is a dance of energy, timing, and awareness. Touching the lower back and spine line correctly communicates desire while deepening trust. When combined with the neck, ears, wrists, and hands, you create a holistic connection that is unforgettable, magnetic, and profoundly emotional. By this point, you've learned the power of presence, the language of her emotions, and the three key physical spots: the neck and ears, wrists and hands, and the lower back and spine line. But here's the most important lesson of all. Nothing matters unless you master emotional connection before any physical action. Desire begins in the mind before it manifests in the body, and emotional resonance is the bridge between casual attraction and deep, magnetic intimacy. Most men make the fatal mistake of prioritizing physical action over emotional understanding. They see attraction as a checklist: touch here, kiss there, escalate quickly. But women are not puzzles to be solved. They are humans to be understood. Emotional connection is the foundation of all meaningful intimacy. When a woman feels understood, seen, and valued on an emotional level, her body naturally responds. Without it, even the most precise techniques will fall flat. So, what does this emotional connection look like in practice? It's listening without judgment. It's noticing the subtle cues in her tone, her expressions, and her energy. It's engaging with her world, her thoughts, her fears, her dreams, without the need to immediately fix or impress. It's about being fully present, showing empathy, and demonstrating that your interest goes beyond the physical. When you master this, every touch you make carries intention, trust, and emotional depth. Here's the key. Attraction is a two-step process. First, connect to her emotionally. Make her feel safe, respected, and genuinely valued. Then, with that foundation, the touches, gestures, And moments you've learned in chapters 3 to 5 become infinitely more powerful. Emotional connection amplifies every physical action because it transforms touch from a simple sensation into a profound experience. The reality is simple, but often ignored. Women are wired to respond to men who understand them. Emotional intelligence is what separates the ordinary from the unforgettable. When you can create this connection first, the rest, the desire, the intimacy, the physical chemistry, follows naturally. You are not just a man who touches, you are a man who awakens emotions, builds trust, and inspires desire through authenticity. Remember, physical attraction without emotional connection is temporary. Emotional connection first creates lasting impact. Master this, and you will not only understand women at a deeper level, you will become unforgettable in every sense of the word.